All right, there you go.
Hey, everybody.
That was exciting.
You want me to tap dance? Hey, y'all. We're going to give it just a second.
I'm catching up
I
on
feel like
everybody's hellos anyway.
I feel like the camera's farther away. Do you?
I think you say that every week.
Well, I just feel like we're not taking
You
up
always
as
feel something.
much of the camera as we usually do. I can't say how is everybody this week because you'll say you always say that.
No, I don't. I say you always yawn.
Well, that's coming.
But you do always say, hey, everybody. Like, really exciting. It's bright. I'm catching up on comments. Just everybody saying hello.
Well, I hope so. I don't want anybody
Dean
saying
is
goodbye.
off grid in the camper.
Oh, that sounds fun and quiet and all things that's not here.
Sarah said, Zoe, I'm sending you a few cookbooks tomorrow.
Oh boy.
She will like that.
Yeah.
All right. We gave them a few minutes. People can jump in as they want to.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Well.
Everybody's talking about
the
one
fire.
particular subject.
That's right. Well,
you were the first one there.
Yeah. But first, let's talk about Christmas.
Okay.
Jingle bell rock. It's almost that time again.
Okay.
And I need everybody to send me a Christmas card. That's what I need. So at some point, I need you to put our address up there.
Well, hopefully, we won't have the post office close our P.O. box this year.
It won't. It won't close.
Well, I know they won't now.
I sure hope not.
Linda needs everybody to remember them in prayer because she lost her sister Thursday.
Oh, goodness.
Hey, Miss Sue. We must not be interrupting some kind of TV show tonight, Miss Sue. Doesn't she usually watch a TV show while we're on?
Yes. It's like Survivor or something like that.
I'm not sure which one.
Or Dancing. Somebody watches Dancing.
Linda, I'm putting it in my notes so I don't forget.
But yes, I will put our address on the screen because I need more Christmas cards this year than last year because we have more friends this year than last year. And
I'm typing and I just, instead of putting sister, I put friend.
Oh, sorry. I want to fill up our wall. Actually, I have Nick buy me a new holiday backdrop.
Oh, never mind. It's on Wednesday. She watches Chicago Fire.
Oh. But I have Nick buy me a new holiday backdrop, and we're going to cover it with all of our Christmas cards that we get.
Judy is shocked. She said, you guys have friends?
I mean, just a couple. Most people don't like me.
You're going to have to tell me the number.
2780.
Oh, yeah. I knew it.
Why is my phone? Oh.
What?
I'll tell you later. I need to turn on my do not disturb. Look. Okay. There. I turned on my do not disturb. Now make sure you do the right one. There.
I did it, didn't I?
D. Reed wants me to sing.
Who?
D. Reed.
Who is that?
Somebody wants me to sing.
If they want you to sing, I need to ban them. You're blocked.
All right, there is the mail
There's
address.
Zoe's Christmas card address.
Y'all, I tell you though, the kids looked forward to like every day wanted to go to the post office, didn't they?
I know, they were excited.
It was so much fun.
And that was before we found out that everybody was being sent back.
Yes. So it's just it's pretty fun to go to the post office and check it multiple times a week. And the kids come out with Christmas cards and they had a few gifts in there and so I'm looking forward to that again.
Debbie said, do you have any of your pup recipes available? I have been constantly replying to recipe requests on our comments that you were trying to get them on the website, but that has not happened yet.
It has not. I will try to get to that.
I've been telling them you were trying and it hasn't happened, so I didn't know when to tell them it would happen.
Lisa said, quit being a grumpy old man.
Me?
Yeah.
I'm not yet. Zoe, have you ever made salt rising bread?
I have not. Never heard of it. So
I see who that is. Lisa Peck. She's always saying something about me being grumpy. Have you guys seen the Great Christmas Pageant? The greatest Christmas pageant ever movie.
No, I have not.
Lolene said the pups were great.
Good.
Zoe.
I have not put any out, but I don't mind sharing some because I learned it from other people.
That ain't what I wanted. I need folks to hit that like button. The number is way off.
Oh wow, yeah, it is.
They must not like it so
Hope
far.
said it's a great movie.
Maybe because you started out singing, that's why they didn't hit the like button.
Maybe.
I like to mail Christmas cards. People do Facebook posts, but I like receiving cards.
Okay, Nick, sing with me.
No. You're going to make me block you.
L
Zoe, stop.
is for the way you look at me. O is for the only one I see. Me
Zoe.
is very, very...
Zoe. Can you go back to talking about recipes or something, please?
Am I making you uncomfortable?
Very.
Just trying to love you.
You've made me
You won't
uncomfortable
let
for
me
the
love
last
you.
8 years.
Won't let me love you.
There's Neil.
Neil was on here.
You've made me... No, I was talking to Dean a while ago.
Oh.
I was fat and
No,
seeing
Neil
Neil
was
till
here
just
too.
now. But I didn't see it. Button hit, and she's pointing down.
Maybe the button.
Rhonda said you got the down button.
They think I'm
Oh,
cute.
that's not cute. That's Zoe being silly.
Lorraine said I've been on the eggnog.
We don't have eggnog yet. We need.
They have it in
It's
the
almost
store.
time.
It's in the store.
Yeah, it's almost time to get some.
Nick's little face turns beet red when you make him uncomfortable. It sure does.
She's been doing it for 8 years, Judy.
He really loves it when I holler his name real loud in the store.
Lisa, she does not have a beautiful singing voice. As much as I love my Zoe, she can't sing a lick.
I can.
No, you cannot. Look, I love my Zoe more than anything in this world, but she can't sing to save her life.
I do though.
You do sing. I didn't say you didn't sing. I said you couldn't sing.
It's like that reel I shared with you. Was it you I shared with? Maybe I shared it on the whole world of Facebook about the guy that's singing in tune. He's got his headphones on and his brother's in the kitchen with
No,
him.
he is not singing in tune at all.
That's what it's like with me and the animals when I'm cutting grass. They're going, what is she on? But I
I'm
sound
trying
much
to read
better.
Loma's comment here. She has a friend who had brain surgery yesterday in ICU.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, I'm going to put that down.
Okay.
Neil said, can you tell me what it's taken so I can upgrade from silly to crazy?
Well, I
Zoe's got a little bit of both.
I took some iron.
You did take iron?
I've been taking my iron.
Oh, I don't believe that.
Yeah, I've been taking it. Teresa said, make a beautiful noise to the Lord.
She's not in church worshiping. She's over here getting on my nerves. There's a
Mama
difference.
said peyote.
I'm making notes. I'm trying to make prayer notes here.
Lisa
You being
asked me to
silly.
sing Silent Night.
I feel the love y'all have for each other. Sarah said make your own eggnog. Way better.
Ooh.
Oh, she said she was showing that she had hit the button. I thought it looked like it was pointed down. We all sound great in the shower.
That's right.
Zoe doesn't even sound great in the shower. I'm just go ahead and tell you.
Well, you got bugs in your ears.
What's the film of the fire God was watching? Oh, yes. We'll get to that in a minute if I get Zoe quit being silly. Oh, yeah.
Larry is 84.
Sing like no one is listening.
I like to sing.
What is that?
I don't know.
Oh.
Hey, Chris.
Anyway,
Okay.
Zoe,
let's talk
they are
about it.
waiting on you to update and talk about our event
They're
Wednesday.
waiting on me to give them a concert, and you won't let me.
That is not what they're waiting on. There's some of them that are waiting on it
I could
just
be-
because they like to see me get uncomfortable.
I sound like Mariah Carey, but he won't let me. Ooh.
Stop. Would you please talk about the stupid video? Because you did the whole Mariah thing the other night, and it was horrible. I think one of our windows shattered.
You about fell out of your chair.
My mom was ordered not to sing at a wedding. She could not only rewrite the tune to something random, but even mess up the words when they were on a printed page. That's Zoe. She will.
You're 50 Shades of Red.
The tune won't even be close, but she will destroy the words. Something fits. It's terrible. It's really bad. Even if you tell her what the words say, she'll still sing it wrong. Nick, drink your drink. I would have to doctor this drink to listen to Zoe singing. This is just plain old Coke Zero, but I would have to have something much stronger. Zoe, did you shatter a glass with your voice? She did. A window. I bought my brother a banjo for Christmas, so looking forward to some nice music through the new year.
Oh, that'd be
But we're
nice.
not going to have any nice music here. Zoe, Wednesday.
Yes.
I had missed calls, but they got through to you.
Yes. So I was
Carry on.
actually getting in the car to take the boys for a haircut.
Oh, wait. She was... I think she was asking for a prayer request. Judy said Larry, 84, was cutting tree limbs and fell out of the tree. Are we going through this week
She
again?
wants to be scrapped.
Has several brain bleeds.
Oh, goodness. Taking off life support.
Pray for Karen, his wife, and family.
Goodness
Good.
gracious. That's sad.
Kimberly said you can sing the words about the fire. We need to stop talking about Zoe singing.
Well, something we hadn't even gotten to talk about because we had to talk about our fire was the boys had their end of the year awards ceremony.
They did, and I didn't even put it in,
So we'll
in
put
the
that
video
in our
at all.
next video.
No, I'm not. I don't wanna
Yes,
hear that
we
crap.
are. So we'll but Wednesday, got the kids home. We were getting ready to getting in the car to go get their haircut. And the neighbor at the farm, I see her name pop up. And when I see her name pop
It's
up,
like Zoe calling me at work. When our neighbor calls, it's never good news.
you go,
If Zoe calls me at work, it's never good news.
well, it's been a long time since she's called because the last time she called, the pigs were in her yard. So she don't call very often. But, I mean, we talk to her, just not typically on the phone. And she said, daughter, just got home. early from school. Wasn't supposed to be home early, got home early, and saw that the woods behind their house was on fire. Called mom, called stepdad, and they got the ambulance on the way. Ambulance, fire trucks on the way. And that they knew our farm was burning too.
I don't know what she told you. That's not.
Yeah. Well, they knew ours was
I'm not-
burning too because it was in the power line and beyond. And so here I go. Instead of going to get haircuts, we're headed to the farm. And I call you because she said she had called you and he had called you. And so I called you and texted you and called you, and finally you answered, and you got in the car and was on the way.
How? He who? George? He didn't call me.
Oh, maybe
I just had a missed call from her and a missed call from you. That was the only missed calls I had.
Oh, what? Anyway, we got going, and you were going to head that way too. But we got there, and the fire department was already there, and the forestry was there, but they were waiting on bulldozers to get there. Well, you want me to keep going?
Yeah. That's why I'm wondering why you're dragging it out.
Well, I didn't know. I mean, I'm just telling what happened.
Okay,
Step by
go
step.
ahead.
So we get there and we pull in where we always do. And I see that the animals are fine, but I see the alpacas were out. So I get out and I'm walking around and I even say, "Come on, boys, what are y'all doing?" And
I'm reading comments.
and I said, "Boys, what are y'all doing out?" And so I take off around the backside and all the way up here. And the boys went around because they were up on that backside where the dove field was. They were over there, but then they went around and came on the other side. So by the time I got over there is when I actually saw how much of it
I
was
know
burned.
every inch of this farm, and I'm completely clueless about what you're talking about. I know they're confused.
Well, I'm trying
They're
to
up there and on the other side. I have no idea where we're at right now.
Well, just know they weren't in their pen.
There we go.
But I didn't realize what had been burned until I got to walking down the fence line and got to their pasture. And
I'm reading comments while you're telling this.
and
Dean said, "Come on, Zoe, spit it out before I lose my signal
I'm
again."
nervous.
Oh.
But they were out on the other side, and I figured out why, because their whole pasture had been burnt and it pushed them out. They went through the fence, and I found them wandering on the other side, and you could see that in the video where Mackenzie points out, "Hey, they're over here," and I'm going, "Yeah, I know, I see them." And it's because it burned all the way up to there, right where the actual hard pen began. What? What is it?
Neil said if Zoe was witnessing a trial, the trial would be 3 times as long.
I know. The good thing for me is.
And Shelly
is I
said,
don't
"I'm going
pay-
to get whacked with your hand."
Well, the good thing is I don't pay attention to anything, so I wouldn't be a very good witness.
You wouldn't give any details.
I wouldn't have seen it to begin
I thought it was just me confused on where they were on the farm. No, I don't even know right now.
Yeah. Well, their paddock is just this long rectangle. And so it's broke into 3 sections. That big metal fence, the hard fence, is broke into 2. And then you got the alpaca pasture, which is just metal wire. And it burned all of the alpaca pasture, which is just metal wire, and burned the posts that the electric used to be on, but we took it down. And so the alpacas were just walking around, which was fine because they don't go anywhere. But everybody else was okay as far as animals. So we get to wandering around and noticing how much and how wide of an area and how much had been burned, how much was actually charred. Your turn.
So I was about 5 minutes out, maybe 10, when I got the call back from the neighbor, and she said that her daughter said that forestry had just gotten there with the dozer. And I said, well, Zoe is there. Zoe's already there. And she said there were 2 fire departments there. So when I got there,
one was on their side and one was on ours, because I came down the dirt road past theirs and noticed there was some in their driveway. And then I came to ours and didn't know there was anything there, because I actually pulled up to the top gate and I told the forestry guy, I said, this gate, you can go in. I said, we'll just replace the lock. I didn't realize he had already done that. I thought he had went down to the other gate and pulled up.
The top gate wasn't locked.
Well, I didn't know. He had it closed and chained. So I thought he used our bottom gate. So I didn't know there was already a fire department down there until I got to walking around and realized the fire department was already down there at the backside. So there was 2, one department at their house and one department at ours.
No, both departments were at the farm and both departments were at her house.
Oh.
Because I saw both their main engines at her house when I came there.
Oh.
We had grass and brush trucks at our farm. And then they had one engine down there that turned around right at the end. But those were brush and grass response trucks. The fire engines were at her house because that was a full structure.
Oh.
That's who was there when I got there.
Okay.
But when I got there, the last truck was pulling in, and I said, you can take that road all the way around. And he said, I'm fixing to have to turn around now. We got a structure fire call anyway. So
Neil said, are we sure we're both at the same fire?
Yeah, that's just Zoe. But Zoe was letting me know kind of where it had been in the pasture, because I didn't go up that way. I went around, and I saw on my way in that it had burned around the bees. Matt,
Millie, go lay down.
you're going to have to get Millie in there. She's going to turn this table over.
Millie, go lay down, baby. Go lay down.
I know one of these days she's going to knock the laptop off. But I see your questions, and I'm getting to that. I talked about it in the video, and I see Grammy asking again. But we don't know any more now than when I was in the video. But what we do have, and I didn't include in the video, was a full conversation with the Forest Service.
Mm-hmm.
And I showed y'all how sporadic it was and how weird the patterns were. Oh, I was talking about the bees. Millie tried to knock the table over. I forgot. I saw the bees when I came in, and I thought it had burned the boxes. But thankfully, all of that was trimmed down,
right.
So it just burned the edges and didn't get it didn't have any sage grass under the bees.
Mm-hmm.
It did have sage grass under the tractor, and it burned it all. And I don't know how it didn't melt tires and plastic and hoses, and I don't know. Well, yeah, I do know. I do know how it didn't do it, but anyway, I had a conversation with Forest Service, the wildfire response, and this guy was actually a forest ranger. While the dozer was working, he was talking about the patterns and how weird it was. And he said, I understand that wind is going to throw some embers, but he said you would have had to have a substantial fire and your embers wouldn't have gone in all different directions.
Right.
So I saw a lot of people in the comments talking about, well, wind can do this and that. I understand, but the wind was blowing in one direction.
That's what I was about to say. The wind was only blowing one direction. It wasn't spinning.
So I've seen lots of questions about the bees. Do you know if she's checked the bees? She said she was going to, but I didn't hear if she did.
I think she's coming this weekend.
So Charles and Kathy Hobbs said, have you opened the bee boxes to see if the bees are still there?
Okay, so I've only seen a little bit of activity. But
well, at least you saw some. I did
see a little bit, but we've had a lot of overcast days. We had rain sometimes. All those things. The smoke itself will suppress the bees. So they've had a lot of things against them. But I did see a little bit, but definitely not as much as we did before. So I'm curious to see. I myself have not done that, but I have. I'm not sure how they were affected yet.
Well, I don't know. I had not seen any activity. You say you did.
I feel that they have had some. They have been affected some.
I keep seeing people say drone footage would be good to see. We've actually talked about that. About maybe trying
we have
to see
some drones. We're just not real skilled in them. But we do have some, so we might try to give that a whirl.
She's finding a nice way to tell y'all that I crash a lot.
Yeah. Well, once we get it going, then we can't figure out how to record with it.
Well, I recorded, but then I couldn't get the video.
Yeah, we couldn't find the video once you did.
So the good thing is I've got some buddies that have drones that I may get to fly over it just to show everything.
Yeah.
That would probably be better than me trying to do it. Even though I might give it a shot, but I'm never there in the dang daylight. I'm always at work.
Mm-hmm.
So,
but yeah, we might
have to reach out and see if he'll fly
sure he'd be happy to do that.
But so back to the conversation with the Forest Service. He is the one that told me. I had not been there. I could see what was burning. I could see what had burned, and Zoe was telling me how far it had gone up. I didn't even go that far up. But Zoe had told me, I'd seen the bees, but she told me about the tractor. She told me about the alpaca pasture. So I'm down at the woods where everything's still burning. And I told him there is a state installed fire break back there. And he said, good, we're going to tie into it. And when he got there, it was on the back side of that. And he said,
which means on the other side of the fire break we had. So,
but that was the direction the wind was blowing.
Right.
The only problem is that the fire had burned all the way up the hill, and it was on the other side of the fire break. All that was burned, but none of it was connected. It was two separate fires.
Yeah.
So that could have been an ember. That made sense.
Absolutely.
The pasture, the way all that stuff was going, he just didn't see it.
Yeah.
So, look, y'all, this is not conspiracy. This is not me. This came directly from them. He thought that someone lit our brush pile and lit multiple fires down the power line.
So then the question people
lit the pasture because the wind wasn't blowing that direction. It had to have been lit up the hill, and that fire wasn't connected.
Right.
So we didn't blow embers against the grain. Does that make sense?
A lot of people will ask, how did they get there? How did they get on the farm? If you have gates, how did they get on the farm?
So through that power line, about 2 hills over is another road. It's a very easy walk.
I was going to say, it's definitely not out of walking range.
Mm-mm. And the gates ain't going to keep anybody out.
Most people don't walk the power lines. But if you're up to no good, that's the perfect place to walk.
I will need to catch up on some. Nick must have took lessons from Lester on crashes. So, y'all, I'm decent with it, but it can get out of hand quickly. And I ended up flying too far for the antenna, I guess, to reach and crashed it into a tree. I didn't crash it into the ground like a kamikaze or anything. Not quite that bad. But I did crash it into a tree. So thankful that your arms were okay and praying for you. Hope this, I think this was saying, was not intentional.
Right.
If this was intentional that you're about to catch who did it. So that brings me to the next point he told me. That they had a wildfire every day for a week.
Mm-hmm. They left ours to go to a structural fire.
Well, that was structural. That's totally different. Forestry had dealt with a wildfire every day for a week in that same general area.
Mm.
So they think they might have a firebug running around. We've had that in this county before.
We have.
So it is what it is. I don't know who it is or anything like that, so I don't have an update for y'all as far as that's concerned. But I saw a lot of people, multiple people, I was surprised at that, talking about this fire and Cog Hill's family business fire. No way under the sun that those two are related.
Mm-mm.
It's just, there's no way that that's related.
We're 50 miles from
Yeah.
the business fire they had. Not their farm. Their farm's just a few miles. But where the family business is in their old hometown.
Lorraine said, I'm surprised the dogs let them in. Well, here's the thing. If they came up that power line and the dogs are up there with the animals, there's a good,
Right.
that's 40 acres. There's a good chance those dogs would have never known they were there.
Yeah, the only way they would know is like coyotes who are making the sound.
Well, here's the thing. There's a good chance that that's why it's not worse.
Yeah, that's true too.
Because the dogs were barking at the firemen and everything else. So there's a good chance that it could have been worse if they had not been.
Mm-hmm.
Gates and locks keep honest people out. That is exactly correct.
Honest people, yep.
What did I say?
Where?
You said honest people. Did I use the wrong word?
No,
okay.
I was agreeing.
Okay.
Yeah, I was reiterating.
Maybe that neighbor that Zoe mentioned in a video that y'all had problems with.
No, I don't think he'd make all that effort.
I don't know, and he was probably at work during that time too. I mean,
this was to holler.
Y'all, this was during the day.
Yeah,
Lester put his in Jake's pond. I miss that.
And I did want to talk about that. It had been burning for a while.
Mm-hmm.
And all of the neighbors were at work, and
now,
don't
let me forget Laura's point here.
And if she had not come home from school early, it would have been a couple more hours before anybody would have found it, because everybody around there doesn't get home till around 4:30, 5 o'clock. We would have went to the farm later because we were going to get their haircut.
So Laura said, dirt bikes are a usual way of delinquent adventure seekers in the countryside. Laura, you're not far off.
Four-wheelers.
We have four-wheelers in our area that like to come up and down that power line from that other road. And I've had to run them off the farm a couple of different times.
That and up and down our dirt road.
Up and down our dirt road doing donuts. But there was a different group that I got on the power line. I only saw them once. I had seen tracks before, but I only actually saw them come up the power line once. And I pulled down in my truck and told them where the property line was and to get on the other side of it. And they did do that. They didn't realize where the properties were. There's no fence on that side. So
Right.
I didn't think too much about it. But yes, there have been some of that. I saw Cassie come in.
Hey, Cassie.
Cassie, I got to get Zoe to text you too after this. That's a sick person to do such a thing knowing animals were in the fields. There's exactly right. But I don't know if they were trying to hurt animals or just bored.
They may not have known because where the fire was, you cannot see the animals.
But in order to get it up there in the pasture where it burned, they would have had to light it up there. The wind was blowing
That's
the other
true.
way.
Mm-hmm.
So
that is true. I don't know.
Anyway, I keep seeing lots of people talking about cameras. I'm going to be reaching out to my old buddy Brandon and find out what brand those cameras are
He
he's
has
using.
some really good cameras.
He's got some good ones. And
so our biggest issue with cameras is we don't have Wi-Fi out there, and we do not have very good signal, like cellular service. Where the main fire was burning, you don't have signal there. Nick, you actually tried to go live there one time, and I had to tell you to get out from there because you were losing signal so bad.
No, not at all, Cassie. She just got to tell you something. And I told her to do it when y'all were live earlier or after you got off your live, and she forgot. But yeah, we're going to have to find.
So we've got to find something that'll work off
cellular.
But.
Well, there's other cellular providers that do cameras.
Reolink.
It's not going to be able to run off Wi-Fi until we move to the farm. That's just a fact. Unless I have to pay my neighbor for use of Wi-Fi.
We could maybe get Wi-Fi hooked up in the RV and the camper. I wonder if they'd be willing to do that.
How many miles is your house from the farm? 7?
7 miles.
We are 7 miles from the farm. The only problem, and good gracious, I don't know how many comments I got about living on the farm. It was during the day, y'all. We would have all been at work anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Whether I lived there or not, we'd all been at work. The person that called it in was my neighbor's daughter had just got home from school.
Was not supposed to be home
and
yet.
wasn't even supposed to be there yet. Reolink uses cellular signal.
Okay.
And Loma, yes, I did get your email. I've just got to call Zoe's attention to it.
Oh.
Yeah, Daniel uses cellular cameras. I see a lot of that. He's got satellite-based cameras about a week or two ago. Satellite-based cameras would be awesome, but I bet that's expensive.
Yeah, I bet.
I'm going to have to look into that. And they're saying Hidden Heights.
We're going to have to see
I know
that.
Dutch has got cameras everywhere.
Yeah. Brandon would be a good person for cameras. However, Daniel would be better in their opinion.
Hidden Heights solar cameras.
Huh.
You would think that you would have to go pull the cards from those, though. I want something delivering it to my phone.
Right.
Like instant. Yeah. So we're going to be working on that. Trust me. I have 2 cellular cameras at the gates.
Well, and you guys know we've had issues before.
Mm-hmm. That's why I have cellular cameras at the gates.
Right. It's just back down on the backside of the farm. Well, I honestly never thought we'd have to have anything back there because it's kind of secluded.
You can get like a deer game camera that sends pictures to your phone. Have to pay a monthly fee. That's what I have, Cassie. I have 2 of them that are Brownings. I forgot the name of that app it sends to my phone, but both of those are at the gate, and they do send pictures to my phone. I had to turn them because it was sending me a picture every time somebody drove by the farm.
Yeah.
So I've turned them just pointing at the gates, which is great. The only issue with that is the fact that they're not on the back side of the farm. So we'll have to work on that.
Right.
That was not your first yawn at 40 minutes, was it?
I think.
That's really impressive if that was your first yawn was at 40 minutes. Probably because all that singing you were doing.
See, it keeps me young.
No, Dutch camera are mostly game cameras on creek property. Yeah, that's. I'm a Survivor has Starlink portable internet, or that says Starlight.
Rio Link. Read that. I can't see from here.
RealLink sent us some solar powered cameras that work off cell or Wi-Fi. It sends notifications every time someone goes by them. You can set the sensitivity and move them around remotely. Yeah, I'm gonna have to look into that, but they would have to work off cell because unless I got with my neighbor, there's no Wi-Fi there. Or we went ahead and had it hooked up to the camper because there is a service there waiting on us to move.
Yeah.
When they put that internet in there, and it's the same internet service that Jason and Brooke have, and they love it. I went ahead and had them pull a service there. But I'm not going to be using Starlink because Starlink is expensive.
It is expensive.
The setup is way up there. I'm not doing that. Zoe, Cassie, Steph should have a yawn off.
What do we win?
Rhonda said, it does come to your phone. I asked Kevin at Hidden Heights. So we got some options to look at.
But as of now, we don't have any clue who it could have been. I think it's just some.
And there was nothing lost, so they're not exactly going to investigate.
No.
I mean,
That's what some other people have asked is, what is there anything you can claim?
Nah.
Only thing burnt was some grass.
Fence posts?
Well, we did lose
10 fence posts and
a shooting house.
Shooting house wasn't worth anything.
But out of 10 acres, that's it.
Yeah, that's all. Some raggedy chair that was in the shooting house that
we didn't even
I don't know anything about. The shooting house wasn't worth anything. It was probably time to rebuild it anyway. But the fence post was about all that was lost. The main thing was that we didn't have animals lost. Woods, I'm not worried about. I was going to burn them anyway. I just would rather, like I said in the video, I'd rather do it on my timeline.
And and if you look how God sets these things up, we took down that electric fence out of that alpaca pasture last week.
Mm-hmm.
If that had still been going, would our alpacas been so scared of it that they would not have left their pen? Like, would it have cornered them to where they had to, reason with however alpacas think? Would it have been a life or death thing at that point?
Marie said if it killed the bees, that's an expensive loss. You got that right.
Absolutely.
It didn't burn the bee boxes, but I haven't seen bees yet.
But bees are expensive.
Mm-hmm. And there's, 12 hives full?
Yeah. I'm waiting on Miss Tanya to do her.
You may need to put your suit on and go open some up.
I can do that tomorrow.
It's just been cooler. And there's been no reason for them to be out.
Yeah, right. The weather conditions have not been the ideal for bees to be out doing their thing. Read? I can't read.
It looks real suspicious to me. Please quit mentioning cameras before these awful people start scoping out the cameras. In due time, they will mess up and get caught.
That's right.
I want them to know there's cameras there. Hopefully to keep them away. But when we do get the cameras put up, I think it will probably have you in sight before you would have an opportunity to see the camera.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
Yeah.
But we'll just have to see. We're going to start researching it and
unfortunately our neighbors did not experience any loss either. They didn't have animals or anything, but it was just their wooded area.
Yeah, burned like up to the edge of the yard, but no loss or anything.
Right.
And another thing, it rained right after the fire for the first time in how long? That's
It rained that whole night, a heavy
Sure
rain,
did.
and it misted most of the next day.
That was part of what we were talking about while they were cutting in the fire breaks. Was like the rain was supposed to have been here already, but if it had just come on, we're good. And
it
it started
before we
sprinkling
left.
right before we left.
Mm-hmm.
I told my friend who I gave one of your bee kits to about the fire in your bees, and they said praying they're okay because the honey is liquid gold.
It really is.
Zoe has got the rest of the bee kits sold.
I have. I've got a last order of 30-ish that I'm gonna finish up, and my honey will be all done for the year.
Alabama should getting some rain Tuesday. Yeah, I think
That'd
there's
be
100% chance Tuesday.
Oh wow, that'd be great.
How long before you can build your house there? Too long, in my opinion. I would do it tomorrow, but we are simply waiting on that to become feasible. And that's
It's
all I'll
hard to
say
say,
about
ain't
that.
It's hard to say that because we've been waiting a while.
You can put them where they're not noticeable. That's the plan.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not worried about people knowing I have them. I want them to know there's cameras out there that they need to move on to somebody else's.
I also would like to get a good picture of them before they, if they're there, before they do.
D. Reed, I know about his cameras, what kind he has.
Mm-hmm.
Talking about they got a picture of the guy who took money out of their box. I know what kind of cameras he has. Connecticut hasn't had any rain since early September. Put them really high up.
I'm only going as high as my arm's gonna reach, so it'll be up to you after that.
No, I'll put them up because I do want them up where people can't mess with them.
Well, that and the dogs don't set them off every time they walk past.
That's gonna happen anyway.
Oh,
that's gonna happen regardless. But hopefully, we can turn the sensitivity down to the areas where the animals are already.
I'm not real big on notifications. It drives me nuts.
That's because how? You don't have any of your notifications turned on. You don't have a clue what's going on in this world.
There's a purpose.
YouTube comments, no notification. Facebook, no notification. Zoe don't watch nobody's lives. All her notifications is off.
I'm always busy.
I remember a video Hidden Heights that someone stole one of his cameras. That's what I don't want to happen. Maybe prices for building materials and stuff will start coming down around January. That's what I'm hoping.
That's right.
That's why I think we are a lot closer to it now than what we were not long ago.
Yeah.
How about that?
And Tanya hates them too. Her phone is on silent. Mine's not. Nick's is.
My phone's on silent, but I can see all my notifications. Zoe just has all hers turned off. She don't get notifications from nothing.
So, from here, our plan is to do a controlled burn soon. Once Nick gets done with these longer hours, we'll do a controlled one to kind of finish up burning off what was burned without our permission, I guess is the way I should say it, because it's stuff we wanted to be burned, but not on somebody else's terms. You know?
That thief was the first thing that popped into my head when the Smith building burned. Y'all being close friends with them now, you had a fire. That guy didn't like being called out on TV.
Oh.
I don't think
I don't either, because the building that
related.
burned.
I think we had a bored kid is what I think.
Yeah, well, that, and I was going to say theirs was in a town an hour away. You know, I don't think if he's stealing from a lockbox, I don't think he's going to drive an hour away to burn down a building, you know?
Right. No, that's not. I think the bees were not just lucky with the fire. I think there's so many of them, they have their own firefighting department based in one of their hives.
That's true.
They might have just flew
They
around
might
with
have
little
just-
wings
yeah.
flapping and put it out.
I can't really see
I
it.
turned Mom's Life 360 notifications off so she can't find out when I'm on the move.
I turned Mackenzie's off too because I have her on the Find My iPhone, and then she wanted to do Live 360, and every time she walk around in her school, it tell me she left school. She go out on the marching field and it'd say she's gone, and then 10 minutes later she's back. And I'm no. I know where she is, and I don't need all this telling me.
Nah, I ain't doing all that. All right, Zoe. What else you got? We're talking
got
fire
songs.
to death. No, we're not going singing.
Oh.
We're not doing that. I saw somebody ask what was for dinner.
Mackenzie made tortellini with chicken.
She didn't make tortellini. She boiled it and poured sauce in it.
Poured sauce on
There's
it.
people that make tortellini, and
Well,
that
that
didn't
ain't
happen
us.
in our house.
That is not us. We bought
They just boiled tortellini
we
and
bought
poured sauce on it.
tortellini and made it like you make spaghetti.
Yeah.
But we did cook the chicken
Yeah.
and made some garlic bread.
And actually ate before the live.
We did.
How about that?
It's
Those kind of things can happen when you're not running around football practice.
Well,
and
it's
stuff
Sunday.
Like that.
Sunday we try to do that for sure. I do have a big order coming up. I got to make peanut butter balls. I wanted to see how many of you know about Martha Washington candy. I never heard of it until that person asked about it, and so I
Neil
tried.
said, no Chestnut Hills Live is complete without a menu. Neil, I was simply asking the question. Zoe's the one that went off on the sweets tangent.
Look, I got
I was just answering the
52
question.
minutes in.
Right. You can do it.
I did good.
Go with it.
No, I was just curious. Most people I've never heard of it.
Christine
but
said
it's
no.
It's an older.
Becky said she has.
It's an older type of candy.
Brenda said her mom made it all the time. And Loma's heard of it, but don't know what it is.
So Lisa makes it every Christmas. So I made some. I gotta get it dipped, but it's a coconut pecan.
What are you looking at me for? I don't know.
I'm thinking.
Oh, I don't know what it is. If you wait on me, help you.
Sweet. It's very sweet. It's got sweetened condensed milk, coconut, pecan, and
You
powdered
just made me
sugar,
young.
and it's dipped in chocolate. So I've got to make 5 dozen of those and peanut butter balls. And I see where Kathy and I think it's Miss Kathy said, "Is it like Divinity?" I made Divinity for the first time today. Actually, the second time. My first one yesterday failed terribly, and I made it today. Matt, bring it to me because I
It
need
is
to show
nothing
them.
like Divinity though, because the other one is like coconut and cause
But
all
it's
kinds of
not.
stuff.
But it has. Yeah, it's not anything the same. Divinity's cooked down, and Martha Washington's are not. They are not cooked at all. But I have never made Divinity before, and this was an order. So I'm going to show what it looks like. This is the Divinity, and I have no clue if I did it right. It has pecans in it.
Zoe, are you talking about Buckeyes?
I
Yes,
am.
when she says peanut butter balls, she's talking about Buckeyes.
So I don't know. I have no idea if this is right or not.
The only difference in Buckeyes and what she is making is that this guy specifically requests that it be fully dipped.
Yes.
He doesn't want just a little Buckeye of peanut butter showing. So he asked.
Look! I'm so excited.
He asked for it to be fully dipped, so it's just a peanut butter ball, basically.
Everybody says it looks great. That makes me happy because I made it yesterday and it was not. It was like a big marshmallow.
Sue said, I fell asleep 15 minutes before the live and just waking up.
Well, good. I'm so glad. Yes, I did know not to make it when it rained. It ain't rained in a few days, so I knew it was a good time to make it.
Neil said he saw something on the sidewalk earlier that looked like that.
Yeah, kind of.
Ugh.
I did make it yesterday, and it's still, I made it, and it was, it's like marshmallow without the gelatin in it. And I knew that was not right. Because I
Is it
told
fluffy
you,
inside? Yes.
I told you, I said, it's too shiny. This is not right yesterday.
Yeah, it was
And
flat.
it was flat.
A cheap sweet. Cheez-Its with peanut butter in the middle. Dip it in chocolate.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know about the Cheez-Its.
I know you can do Ritz like that.
I don't want cheese. Martha Washington balls is peanut butter covered in chocolate. That's not what these Martha Washingtons are. No, that's simply a Buckeye.
So Martha Washington's is powdered sugar,
coconut,
sweetened condensed milk,
all kind
butter,
of stuff.
And then it's real sweet and it's dipped in chocolate.
When those guys from Birmingham Southern burned churches in different places in Alabama, so I would not count. I'm not counting out it being the same person. I'm just saying it is not very likely.
It's more likely to be the person who has set the
they say
others
you really don't taste the cheese on them. Well, do you know, and I'm not going to get into a long story, but do you know that one of the best recipes of fudge that I ever had, and I won't mention her name, but she was a charge nurse at one of the hospitals when I was a paramedic on ambulance. The best fudge recipe I ever had a surprise ingredient in it.
What?
Velveeta. Her fudge recipe had Velveeta in it. I said, there ain't no way. And she said, yes, it does. And it was amazing. Best fudge I've ever eaten. It had Velveeta in it. I thought that was so weird.
I want to try the Cheez-Its, though, with peanut butter dipped in chocolate.
Knock yourself out. Don't bother me.
Try that.
Just ran in the living room and interrupted the football game and told my hubby to look up the recipe and print it for me. Well, if Zoe ever does put her recipes on the website, I'll get her to add that one. Well, are you about ready to wrap up? We're getting close.
Yeah.
But I don't want to just stretch it out and end up on something silly.
You don't want me to sing again?
I definitely do not. If you do, let them know how you like them.
I will. I'm going to try it.
Lori, yes.
That's a good excuse to go buy some Cheez-Its. Well, how long's it been since you bought me Cheez-Its?
A couple weeks.
A month? At least.
Maybe.
I hadn't had Cheez-Its in so long, I'm deprived.
What's wrong with you buying your own Cheez-Its?
I don't have no money. Why? I want to see Nick's face red again.
Let's go to end stream.
No, get everybody to send you. Yes, I was going to. I actually thought about that.
You said something about getting people to send you recipes.
I sure did. If people want to, they can put me.
Catherine said you can't go on this guy here. You go out and watch the replay.
Well, yeah. That would be a good idea. Is if you have a recipe you'd like to share, to put me one in there, especially handwritten. My goodness, that will go in my collection because y'all don't know how much it means to me to have handwritten recipes. Because it's just so scarce now.
In Washington State, my mom never knew if divinity would turn out with the weather, and being at sea level made a difference. Once the batch didn't set up, and she ended up making sugar on a stick.
Yeah.
We know what happens when Zoe breaks out the sticks.
Try the vanilla wafers with a Rolo in the middle, dipped in chocolate.
Now that I would go for. Mm-hmm. A Rolo?
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
That would be good.
I'd be all over that. Velveeta and fudge sounds really interesting. You're going to have to try that because I never made it that way. That's just what she told me the recipe was.
Judy can write me a recipe that says Judy's recipe. It says I don't cook. Peanut butter pinwheels.
Well, send it to her.
I wonder if that's like potato candy.
Lori, make sure you put it in a Christmas card and send it to her.
That would make my day.
All right. We will see them again on Wednesday.
Yes.
And we might have a video before then. I honestly don't know.
That's terrible. Oh, we're so
Guys,
consistent.
we'll see y'all Wednesday.
Bye.